So, something really interesting today and a bit outside my wheelhouse. I'm a headphones guy. I've only recently started to experiment with IEMs, but Drop hit me up and told me they had an IEM coming out in partnership with JVC that was special for a couple reasons. One, because you can't even get JVC IEMs in the US without going through a reseller. And two, these are the result of a group of hobbyist audiophiles over at Super Best Audio Friends modding the originals that these are based on. JVC took those modifications to heart and in partnership with Drop are now re-entering the US market. And the results are, strong. Let's get into it. You ready? Let's go. Yo, I'm Brian P. You're watching BadSeed Tech, and today we're taking a look at the HA-FDX1 wired IEMs from Drop and JVC. For transparency, these are early samples sent out by Drop for the purposes of this review, but as you should know by now, doesn't affect my review in any way. Starting with specs, the HA-FDX1 dual carbon has stainless steel bodies. These rotate not only at the cable connection, but the nozzle can also rotate 360 degrees. This means they can fit a wide range of ears and they can be worn straight down or over ear, which I prefer. Versus the FD01, the originals, they've removed the ridges, making the rear completely smooth. These guys are husky too. They weigh 23 grams on my scale. I see some IEMs trying to cram a ton of different drivers in the body. These are single 11mm dynamic drivers. The dual carbon in the name comes from the fact that they use two different types of material on the driver itself, plus two different types of hybrid carbon coating. This is said to mitigate harshness while still delivering great detail, and it does. 11mm is big enough to push some serious bass, and by focusing on that single driver, they avoid crossover points between different drivers for a more natural sound. No retail packaging on this sample, but inside you'll get the bodies, a nice pleather carrying case with a magnetic snap, the cable, 3 different pair of nozzles, and 5 different sets of silicone tips. Even the tips here are pretty well regarded. JVC Spiral Dot Plus. These are also pretty tough to get in the US. They're really dense and really gummy too, very comfortable. The cable is a thing of beauty. 1.2 meters, 3.5mm connector, OFC or oxygen-free copper Y shape with isolated left and right MMCX connectors. It just feels really nice, good weight to it, no memory, plenty of room after the split to wear them over ear as well. Now these nozzles, this is the money shot here. They use a J mount so they're easy on, easy off, and you get 3 different versions. The white version is the stock FD01. There's no dampening there, and it had a reputation for being pretty bright. The original has 3 different nozzles as well, each made from a different metal, but all largely sounding pretty much the same, which is what got the whole nozzle modding thing started in the first place. So the other 2 they include here are based on modifications from the community over at SBAF. So you have green with some dampening inside, which is visible, and blue with even more dampening. Each will take the edge off the high end. Based on how I like to listen to music, blue was definitely the move for me personally. Nice and warm, deep bass, good air, good sparkle on the highs, and they never approach the idea of being overbearing in any way. The beauty part here is that from a layman's point of view, this looks like it could be gimmicky, but it's not. There is a distinct, different audio profile for each one of these nozzles. It's really rough when you buy audio stuff based on reviews and everybody seems to really enjoy them, but then you get them and they're just not a fit for you personally. I'm sensitive to highs, and there's definitely a couple products I've pulled the trigger on that wound up being a miss for me. So the ability to tailor the sound to be specifically what you're looking for is amazing. Launch price on these will be $250. Once they're in regular stock, expect to see them at $280. Comparatively, the original, the FD01, will run you about $370 or $380 US depending on where you buy from, and they have 1 sound, not 3. So I think that makes for a really strong value proposition here. The build quality on these feel bulletproof, and they're an absolute joy to listen to. Really comfortable too. I don't generally like things that go in my ear, and I start to fiddle with IEMs after a bit. Despite being heavy, these actually disappear on my head. These are 16 ohms. Frequency response here is 8 Hz to 52 kilohertz, and the maximum power handling here is 200 milliwatts, which means you can drive these with just about anything. My Note 9 drives them just fine. Plenty of volume, but they have a tendency to sound a little sterile to me, so the blue tips are necessary for me for mobile. At my desk, I've been driving them with the Burst and Playmate, which has a Sabre ES903A chip and a power section designed to work with sensitive IEMs. Something about the shine on that DAC chip really blends well with the warmth of the blue nozzles. Normally, I listen to open back headphones. Since I also do a lot of gaming, I'm also a big Soundstage whore. Admittedly, my experience with IEMs is pretty limiting, but the one thing that surprises me about IEMs, and these specifically, is that even though you're completely blocking your ear canal and getting a ton of isolation, you'd be really surprised at how large the soundstage feels. So you've got isolation and this big airy soundstage, and then the bass hits. and then the sub bass hits in a way that an open back headphone can't, and it's a really amazing audio experience. All in all, sound-wise, it's really hard to call them one character. One thing they are is beautifully defined. Great soundstage, capable bass. The warm low end is always there, but you decide how much of the highs you want to dial in. So these can really wear multiple hats. You can get that cold, bright, analytic top end. You can get a nice neutral V shape with still a little bit of emphasis on the highs, or you can get a really relaxed, warm, soft tuning. You get to pick. Because you can control this emphasis on the highs, the fact that they still have a really decent soundstage and better than average imaging, it makes them a strong contender for gaming as well, particularly if you need isolation. The only caveat here being that the cable's pretty short, so you're gonna need to make use of your front panel audio headers, or ideally a desktop DAC amp of some sort. For me, the real test of any audio product is whether or not it really makes me want to go back and re-listen to all my favorite stuff just to experience it, and whether or not they're comfortable enough to not distract me from that experience. And these hit both those notes. Male, female vocals, EDM, R&B, the new Tool album, everything was amazing. I would absolutely purchase these. $250 here sounds better than some $500 or $600+ headphones I have. Drop and JVC have a clear winner on their hands here. You know me, I'm not one to shy away from criticism, and honestly, I don't have any criticism for this product. The fact that it was born from community input is just kind of like the cool icing on the cake. When I heard the premise, I was like, oh, that's interesting. When I heard the product, I was like, damn. That's amazing. If you want to know more and or you need some comparisons against some other IEMs to help decide if these are right for you, I really encourage you to head over to the Drop discussion page or head over to the Super Best Audio Friends forum. I'll link both in the description below. No word on ship date yet on these, but those two spots will be the best place to get the latest info. Any questions, of course, hit me in the comments or drop by the Discord. And that's it for this time. I'm Brian P. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that sub button, and until next time, stay up.